Okay, our discussion for today will be the life and contribution of Daniel Hudson Burnham, a fellow American Institute of Architects, FAIA. So si Daniel ay pinanganak noong September 4, 1846 at namatay noong June 1, 1912. Ano ba yung pinamatay niya? Well, actually, health, no? Nagkaroon siya ng sakit na colitis. When we say colitis, ito ay inflammations ng colon. At the same time, na-diagnose din siya na mayroong diabetes noong 1909 na nagkaroon ng matinding effect sa kanyang circulatory systems na nagkaroon ng infection sa kanyang paa. So, noong April 14, 1912, si Burnham at ang kanyang asawa. By the way, yung kanyang asawa, paano niya ba nakilala? Um, ito yung kanyang asawa, yung unang kliyente niya, ah, anak, ito yung anak, yung asawa niya. So, bali, binigyan siya ng, yung first project niya is to construct the mansion, yung bahay, mansion ng kliyente niya. So, doon yung nakita yung kanyang asawa na happen na anak pala ng kanyang kliyente. So ngayon, noong April 14, 1912, ay siya kasama yung kanyang asawa ay nakasakay sa SS Olympics of the White Star Line. Papuntang Europe. And then, during the travel, he attempted to send a message via telegram sa kanyang kaibigan na si Frank Millet na happened to go on different directions. So, hindi sila magkasabay. So, um, si Millet ay napakaswerte niya dahil nakasakay siya doon sa Titanic. At nagkataon na yung Titanic ay lumubog gawa ng um, yung iceberg. Siguro nakasama niya si, ano ba, si Jack. Ano. Okay. So yun nga, nalaman ni Frank, nalaman doon ni Burnham, na namatay si Frank Millet. Hindi siya nakasurvive. And then, after 47 days, namatay na rin ito si Burnham. Gawa ng complication ng ng colitis, diabetes, at nagkaroon pa ng food poison doon sa kinain niya sa Heidelberg. So talagang lahat ng kamalasan ay nakuha niya. So yung kanyang kamatayan ay talagang nayanig yung buong mundo ng architecture. Na kahit yung pinakasikat, the legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright ay nagbigay ng eulogy para kay Burnham. Isa siya sa medyo critic regarding doon sa Burnham's view of arts, European influences. At ang nakabanggit niya nga doon sa eulogy na yan, that si Burnham made a masterful use of the methods and men of his time, an enthusiastic promoter of great construction enterprises, and his power personality was supreme. Siguro baka maihika kung marinig mo lang yung ganong words galing sa isang legendary architect na nagbigay ng eulogy, lalong-lalo na para kay Daniel Burnham. So yung susunod na slides will be discussing about the contributions of Daniel Burnham, and at the same time, paano ba, magaling ba talaga siya noong bata pa? Talaga bang arkitekto yung talagang pangarap niya? At ano kaya yung contributions or ano kaya yung plano ni Daniel Burnham sa Manila at sa Baguio? So sundan niyo ako, sabayan niyo ako sa susunod na slides at alamin natin kung ano ba talaga ang magandang binigay na gift na sanay tinuloy dito sa Pilipinas. Okay, so si Daniel Burnham ay isang Amerikanong arkitekto and an urban designer from the word urban design, which means the process of designing and shaping ng cities, towns, and villages, and planning also the provisions of municipal services to residents and visitors. So, yung urban design ay mararanasan nyo yan pag tungtong nyo ng Design 6, Design 7, dahil more on city planning ang ginagawa doon. So, si Daniel Burnham is also a proponent ng Buick Arts movement. Pag sinabi natin Buick Arts, it is an academic architectural styles na tinuturo sa Écoles des Beaux Arts in Paris noong 1830s at nagtapos noong 19th century. Ito ay yung Buick's art is in the principles of French neoclassicisms that incorporate Gothic and Renaissance elements and the use of modern materials. Si Daniel Burnham ay naitag sa kanya yung word na the most successful power broker the American architectural professions have ever produced. Um, a successful Chicago architect na siya ay napili bilang Director of Works for 1892 to 93 World's Columbian Expositions. Um, Siya ay may malaking bahagi, no, role in the creations of master plan sa pagdevelop, no, ng maraming cities sa Amerika at dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, no. So ginawan niya ng master plan yung Chicago, Manila, Baguio, the downtown Washington DC, and hindi lang naman um, sa gawa ng urban designs, but then kilala rin si Daniel Burnham sa paggawa ng mga skyscraper. So isa sa mga famous is the Platerion, no? So yung Platerion is a triangular building, a 22-story, no, building. Ito ay matatagpuan sa New York. Nakikita ko to every time na merong New Year, di ba? Nahuhulog yung ball, doon sila, maraming taong nakapalibot, nasa labas, at nagka-countdown. So, yung ball na yon pinoposition doon sa Flatiron. Hindi lang yon, ano, meron, nakapag-design din sila ng Union Stage in Washington, D.C., the London's Selfridge Department Store, at of course, mga skyscrapers. Um, Okay, so nung kabataan niya, of course, si Burnham ay pinanganak sa Henderson, New York. So, taga New York siya. So, lumaki siya, no, sa pangaral, sa pagtuturo ng Swenderborgian, or also known the New Church, uh, kung saan na-develop niya yung kanyang belief that the man should strive to be of service to others. Now, at the age of 8, si Burnham ay nag-move or nanirahan sa Chicago dahil nga yung kanyang tatay ay merong business na wholesale drug business. So, si Burnham ay hindi naman ganong kagalingan na estudyante. No, hindi siya yung, ano ba to, adib-adib. Hindi siya yung grade conscious, yung GC. Pero, no, magaling siya sa drawing. Kaya dumating yung point na nung age 18 ay binigyan siya ng tutor ng kanyang mga magulang, no, para lang makapasa sa Harvard at tsaka sa Yale. Unfortunately, hindi siya nakapasa. So, in 1867, at the age of 21, nagtrabaho siya apprentice as dropsman sa Lebaron James Jenny William Lebaron Jenny, uh, or the architecture firm of Loring and Jenny. Um, Ang banggit niya sa kanyang tatay is that, sa kanyang parents is that, um, the greatest architect, magiging siya ay isang the greatest architect in the city and in the country. Di ba? So, dapat ngayon pa lang pala tayo, binabanggit na natin kaagad na ako'y magiging isang sikat na arkitekto dito sa Pilipinas at sa buong mundo. So, again, um, um, in 1869, no, pumunta siya ng Nevada. Uh, medyo siguro dahil nga naboryong, medyo nagsawa, no? Pumunta siya ng Nevada para mag-try ng pagmimina ng ginto. Unfortunately, hindi naging maganda yung kanyang business na yun. Sinubukan niya rin tumakbo bilang isang legislature at hindi siya nanalo. Natalo siya sa eleksyon. So, bumalik siya ulit sa Chicago at nagtrabaho sa um, sa Lee G. Lauren. Noong October 1871, nagkaroon ng Chicago Great Fire. Yan, Great Chicago Fire. Pero hindi niya yan tinig advantage. Instead, nagbenta siya, no, ng plate glass window. Pero hindi pa rin naman nag-succeed. Okay, sa edad ng 26, no, 26, si Burnham ay lumipat ng opisina, no, sa Chicago office ng Carter Drake and White. At doon niya nakilala ang kanyang future business partner na si John Wellborn Root. So, tinayo nila. So, nagtayo sila ng opisina, no? Maging magkaibigan sila. And then, tinayo nila yung Burnham and Root na architecture firm. The first major project ng kanilang opisina is yung kanilang kliyente na si John B. Sherman. Okay, so nagpatayo si John Sherman, hinire sila to somehow construct, design a mansion on Priare Avenue at 21st Street along Mansions of Chicago. Okay, so si Ruth ang gumawa ng initial design, and then si Burnham nirefine niya yung design na yon at siya yung nag-supervise ng construction. So, ganun yung kanilang tandem. Then, during yung construction, nakilala niya si Margaret. Ito na yung kanyang asawa. Na happened na yan ay daughter ng kanyang kliyente na si Sherman. Okay? So, dahil siguro manyaman to si Sherman, hindi lang nagtapos doon yung kanilang proyekto, yung paggawa ng mansion. So, binigay din sa kanya yung stone gate designs. So, lahat yun nagawa nila hanggang noong 1881. Ang pinaka big break ng kanilang firm is to build the Montauk Building. So, si Montauk Building is referred as the Montauk Block. Yan yung pinaka high-rise building sa Chicago, Illinois. Okay, so nagtuloy-tuloy na yung kanilang proyekto, no? Burnham and Ruth went on to build more of the first American skyscrapers, kagaya ng Masonic Temple Building. Yan, sila rin yung designs niya. And then, yung kanilang tandem ay napakaganda, no? Yun nga, si Burnham, ang pinaka main objective niya is to execute the project na dinidesign ni Ruth. At the same time, siya rin yung kumukuha ng kliyente, while si Ruth naman, siya yung master designer. Okay, so lahat ng architecture firm, construction firm ay merong downfall. So yung downfall nito ay nung um, yung kanilang project noong 1888 in Kansas City, Missouri, yung kanilang hotel na dinesign ay nag-collapse during construction. May namatay na isa at maraming na-injured. Definitely, kung ano man or kung may nag-collapse, siyempre kailangan siyang i-investigate. So nagkaroon ng negative feedback, no? Nahirapan silang bumangon, even natalo rin sila, no, sa mga design competitions. Isa sa mga malaking dagok sa kanila nung natalo sila doon sa giant auditorium building na napunta ngayon sa tandem na Adler and Sullivan. So by the way, no, dahil nga si Daniel Burnham ay naselect bilang director ng World's Columbian Exposition, no, noong January 15, 1891, kasagsagan ng kanilang meeting regarding sa World's Columbian Exposition, si Ruth ay namatay dahil sa pneumonia. Okay? Um, at the age of 41. At the same time, um, nagimbal again yung buong architecture industry. So, medyo nahirapan si Burnham na to accept na namatay yung kanyang napakatalik na kaibigan, napakatalik na partner, no, yung kanilang tandem. So, um, Burnham have to move on. So, inacquire na ngayon ni Burnham yung kumpanya at ni-rename yung kumpanya as D.H. Burnham and Company. Okay. So we have here the Washington Union Station. Ito ay isang masterpiece ni Daniel Burnham. It's a major train station, also known as the transportation hub and leisure destinations of Washington, D.C. Ito ay binuksan noong 1907. It is a Amtrak's headquarters and the railroad's second busiest stations na nagsasakay, no, ng tao ng 5 million annually. Tinagurian din na 19th busiest station sa United States. The slide shows the One Calvert Plaza, or also known as the Continental Trust Company building. It is a historic 16-story building, a skyscraper in Baltimore, Maryland. The Buick Arts early modern office building was constructed with steel structural members clad with terracotta, fireproofing, and tile art floors. Its namesake was characterized in 1898 and instrumental in merging several Baltimore light and glass company. The building was constructed in 1900 to 1901. It was, of course, designed by D.H. Burnham and Company of Chicago, and one of the survivor or of the Great Baltimore Fire of February 1904. This building is was listed to the National Registry of Historic Places in 1983. It is within the Baltimore National Heritage Area. Sharing to you the quote of Daniel Burnham. It says, "Make no little plans. They have no magic to stir man's blood, and probably will not themselves be realized." The next slide will be discussing about the overview of Burnham's Manila and Baguio plan. Okay, so Burnham's plan for Manila never materialized due to the outbreak of World War II and the relocations of the capital to another city after the war. So some components of the plan did not come into fusions, including the shore roads, which became the Dewey Boulevard, na ang alam natin is the Rojas Boulevard, and the various neoclassical government building around Luneta Park, which is very resembled in the miniature versions of Washington, D.C. After the Spanish-American War in 1898, the Philippines became the American colony from 1898 to 1942. So 6 years after na makuha ng Amerika yung Manila, the US government sent Daniel Burnham to Manila for city planning. After the 6 weeks of on-site investigation, Burnham returned to the United States with reports on proposed improvement of Manila. Now, sa loob ng report na yan, meron siyang five major points outlined, no? Proposed five major points outlined. At ang una is to develop or the development of the waterfront and the expansions of parks and parkways. This refers to the Manila Plan creating the Sea Boulevard. Ito yung ating Tiwi Boulevard or also known as the Rojas Boulevard. And another part doon sa plan is includes the development of an area called the New Luneta as American's government center. This can be shown in the Manila Plan or the revisioning the Luneta. The photo shows the Daniel Burnham sketch of the Sea Boulevard from Manila to Cavite in 1907. Ito na yung dinadaanan natin na Rojas Boulevard. So, ang major objective no, ni Daniel Burnham is to somehow appreciate the nature, no? Yung dagat, yung sea, while traversing Manila to Cavite. Here's a photo, 1912 photo of the constructions of Cavite Boulevard connecting to the Rojas Boulevard. The photo shows the 1935 map of Ermita and Malate, identifying major roads and minor roads, open spaces, commercial and residential. The zoning. So the Cavite Boulevard was part of Daniel Burnham's 1905 plan for beautifying the city of Manila. It was to be widened, extended, and pushed back from the waterfront, renamed as Dewey Boulevard. Presently, we call that Boulevard. It extends from central Manila along the Manila Bay and all the way to the Cavite, shown in the previous slides. The Burnham concepts of the Cavite Boulevard closely reflect his overall ideas of developing the waterfront. Ganda nun, ano, kung na-develop sana yun. So developing a waterfront and creating pleasant vistas of the city. The bayfront from the Luneta southwards was proposed to be a continuous parkway, gradually extending up to 20 miles from the Cavite Naval Yard. As Burnham believes in creating equal opportunities for trees and landscapes, pedestrians, and vehicles in the road, the boulevard consists of roadways. Take note, ha? Ito dapat ang laman ng Rojas Boulevard. The boulevard consists of roadways, tramways, bridge path, rich plantation, and a broad broad sidewalks, totaling up to 76 meters in width. Cavite Boulevard was indeed provided for all classes of people in various conveyance, and also will protected from the sun with coconut palms, bamboos, and mangrove. So sana na-imagine nyo kung gaano sana kaganda yung Dewey, or also known as the Rojas Boulevard. To quickly attain the aesthetic and functional results, different types of trees such as acacia were planted, alternating with trees of the slower growth, then replacing after the latter attained their growth. The seaward side of the boulevard were planted also to achieve the mystery effect of the ocean and sky, as the trees can occasionally interrupt the views of the sea. The Dewey Boulevard, or the Ross Boulevard, continued on a reclaimed land in the south of the old Fort San Antonio Abad in Malate, beyond which strikes the beach and follow the shorelines of Cavite, and further extensions of the Seaboard Boulevard in the North Shores was determined by the town development and hard work or harbor works in the north of Pasig River. So the photo shows the old plan of Burnham, coming from the Bureau of Public Works model of the Philippine capital Manila. Regarding the Manila plan, no, revisioning the Luneta, no, ano ba yung revisioning the Luneta is that Daniel Burnham chose, no, pinili niya talaga yung Luneta na located along Ross Boulevard adjacent to the old wall city of Intramuros as the locations of new national government center. One is to increase parks and parkways in the city. Burnham's proposed that the ancient moat surrounding the Intramuros are to be reclaimed to enlarge the Luneta into a 30-acre park. Ibig sabihin, nabawasan pala, yung Luneta Park nun. So hence the water was drained and filled with trees and grasses, which overcome the existing hygiene issues. As a planner who took considerations of the existing condition, Burnham preserved the walls of Intramuros despite the obstructed traffic and ventilation issues. It became the center of culture and recreations. To respect its, of course, the historical and cultural values of the fortified medieval city. Now, Luneta became an urban park which consists of the major civic centers. Kaya kasama sana doon yung old legislative building, the Department of Agriculture, Department of Finance, and the only three units which were completed before the outbreak of World War II. The famous, no, yung famous na Rizal Monument is also the part of Luneta, and locations of the building sites of various activities were considered on both sides of the new Luneta. Boats, the clubs were to be placed, as well as new hotels envisioned to be the world-class resorts and casinos. And one of which, William Parsons Manila Hotel, is also located. Okay. The photo shows the present map of Manila, no, near the Luneta. So mapapansin dito kung gaano kalapad pala dapat yung Luneta Park, no? Identifying major civic centers. Okay, another pointers for the overview of Manila is the establishment of a street system which would secure direct and easy communications. So, pag na-establish mo yung street system, Then you can have a direct connections, no, with districts and cities. No? And on top of the grid-drawn street system, imposes the radiating boulevard connecting the civic centers. Ang ganda nun. Okay? If you can connect if you can design the streets well, and connecting from districts to cities, and connecting also to the Dewey Boulevard. So, Daniel Burnham, the American architect and urban planner, and the creator of Manila, was one of the active proponent. Siya yung talagang major head ng tinatawag na Beautiful movement in 1890s and 1900s. Now, the City Beautiful movement promoted not only the beautification, yung pagpapaganda ng isang syudad, but also the creations of moral and civic virtue among urban populations. Now, when Burnham participated in designing Washington, D.C. and the San Francisco, dynamic civic centers was created as a central organizers of the city. In Manila, Burnham implemented a more open and convenient transportation routes in the existing grid street with circulation system radiating from the government centers. And of course, Burnham believed that such arrangements of civic centers suggested to be entirely fitting for both practical and sentimental reasons. Practical because the center of the government or governmental activity should be readily accessible for all sides. Sentimental because every sections of the capital city should look very different towards the symbol of the national power. During the latter planning in Manila, Wallace Field, which extended from Luneta to the present Taft Avenue, was proposed to be fully occupied by government centers. Starting from National Post Office by the river, the Taft Avenue would consist of various bureaus and department offices. Kabilang dito yung National Museums and the National Exposition Building. The photos is an example of a circulation system radiating from the civic centers in Washington, Macmillan Plan. Number three is the locations for buildings of various program. So dahil ang concept ni Daniel Burnham is waterfront, isang example dito is a new hotel is envisioned as a world-class resort and casino. In both clubs are placed on the both ends of New Luneta. The school should be placed in Santa Mesa Heights in order to provide a better learning environment. Another one is creating a civic center as a central nodes of the city. Not only provides accessibility for public service and serves as a symbolic functions. Both also adheres to the philosophy that such organization would promote a harmonious social order that would increase the quality of life. In the generally imperial manner of his um, the concepts, the city beautiful planning, Burnham's Manila plan uh, can be seen as a method of civilization, since well organized civics spaces would potentially improve behaviors of the urban population. So the image is the San Francisco plan. This shows the circulation system radiating from the civic center from left to right. From the concept of San Francisco, doon in-adopt ni Burnham yung concept na yun at apply dito sa Manila plan. Mapapansin nyo, kitang-kita yung circulation systems. Um, at nagko-connect, nag-graduate sa civic centers. Um, and then, of course, pansin na pansin yung roads, the road path. Unfortunately, yun nga lang talaga, hindi ito nasunod. Another close view of the map of Manila. So, ito yung pinaka-updated plan. No? So, nandiyan na yung SM City Manila. Mapapansin nyo yung connections ng mga civic centers. Um, so, we have here the nodes like the Philippine Postal Corporation, the National Museums, the National Library of the Philippines, and the Philippine General Hospital. Connected. May connections pa naman na Taft Avenue and of course the public transportations, yung ating MRT. Okay, so another Filipino counterpart that Burnham design is yung Baguio City, located north of Luzon. So, ang paniniwala ni Burnham is that the efficiency with difference to the scenic and the romantic settings. So, pinaglaruan niya ngayon yung topo, no? Yung kakaibang lot elevations ng Baguio. So, he utilized the different elevations of the high mountains and the low hills. Pinag-combine niya yung dalawang yun to find, of course, definitely the best locations for the principal elements of the town, which are the business, the municipal buildings, and the national or government buildings. Now, for the ground level, doon niya pinosisyon yung mga transactions for businesses para naman mas conveniente no, sa tao at madaling mapuntahan. The municipal building remained close to the business quarters, given positions with unmistakable dignity. Most importantly, the government buildings, while still achieving accessibility from the business quarters, was to be located at the higher point with clear surroundings to express their presence over all the buildings of the city. Recreational and residential buildings would then adjoin and radiate from the three main areas of the town. So, ayun. So, nilagyan niya ng hierarchy. So, nilagay niya yung mga government buildings sa pinakatuktok. And yung mga businesses ay at the lower ground para nga naman talaga ma-access ng tao. Napakaganda, no? The development of Pasig River as a transportation canal and riverbank as shaded drives. This is shown in the Manila Plan, potentials of the waterways. Within the city of Manila, various waterways crisscross through the city during the Spanish times. The Pasig River was utilized as an important transport route and source of water. The map above consequently reveals that the Spanish settlement, both urban and suburban, remained close to the outline of the rivers and the sea. The Spanish government also established its realm of empire, the Intramuros, near the mouth of the river on its southern bank in the 16th century. Okay, so ang paniniwala ni Daniel Burnham is that the Manila Pasig River and the Esteros can hold not only for businesses or economic value, hindi lang siya for transactions ng mga kalakalan, but pwede rin daw itong maging isang Venice type, an element of beauty, dahil nga ang pinaka main objective niya nga is the City Beautiful movement, which believes city loyalty would come through the power of beauty to shape human thoughts and behavior. So Burnham endeavored to redefine the waterfronts as the important areas of Manila development. Apart from establishing the major transportation system in the waterways for the good of the public, he also hoped to create the bayfronts as the natural chapters of social life of Manila, with boulevards and parks, creating again the city beautiful of the Orient, or the pure pearl of the Orient. Burnham suggested that any privately owned property near these waterways are to be returned to the public. Kailangan ibalik sa tao. Notable city landmarks remained along the waterfront in closely grouped series of city semi-public institutions that were built on a new made land. So yung photo na ito ay ang Bridge of Spain, or mas kilala bilang Puente de España. So itong bridge ay spanned the Pasig River, connecting the Binondo and Santa Cruz. This is the oldest establishment in the country before it was damaged by flood in 1914. Dahil nga na-damage, pinalitan na siya at replace at pinangalan na sa Jones Bridge, from the original name at kinuha sa pangalan ni William A. Jones. Isa siyang United States legislator who served as the chairman of the U.S. Insular Affairs. The photo shows the Malacanang Palace fronting the Pasig River, 1899. So the term Malacanang is often used as a metony for the president and his advisor. Originally, ang structure ay tinayo noong 17,500 by Don Luis Rocha, at ginagamit niya to as a summer house or bakasyonan. Then, pinurchase ng state noong 1825. Ginamit ng mga Spaniards, no? Lalo na ng Governor General ng Spaniards. Then, after June 3, 1863, nasira to, gawa ng lindol. Here's the present photo of Malacanang Palace. Shown in the map, the further upstreams from the Intramuros is the Hospicio de San Jose, an orphanage located in Pasig, Seoul Island. And in the north bank consists of the Malacanang Palace, the official residence of the Philippines, built in the 1750s, and the main campus of the Polytechnic Universities of the Philippines, founded in the mid 1900s. Burnham new proposed waterways further serve as the environmental functions, amplifications of the estero system connected with the Pasig River near Santa Ana Park, and opening in the bay through the San Antonio Estero, where it served by its independent channels, materially to diminish the danger of overflow of the Pasig. For Burnham, the waterfront development was a vital as the island development, as he realized its aesthetics, environmental, and social value. Burnham truly appreciate and tried to take full advantage of the geographical settings of Manila. While his plan was unable to implemented, had half of it been carried out, Philippines currently issued of flooding and traffic congestions have been significantly mitigated and potentially improve the quality of living. The last phase of Manila Plan is the development of summer resort near Laguna and Bataan. So let's go now to the overview of Burnham's Baguio Plan. Siguro halos lahat naman siguro sa atin ay nakapunta ng Baguio. And we all know that the Baguio's landscape is hilly or mountainous. Napakakonti lang ng kanilang flat land or level land. So the author cited three areas with horizontal ground. One, below the village that was at that time called Pakda. So located siya somewhere in the east-west strip. And then yung Baguio naman talaga is talagang finoresight nila as military camp. So number two is to have a military reservations. And then number three, it's a mountain meadow. The area known as Baguio and home to Sanitarium, um, Constabulary Barracks, and other buildings when Burnham Burnham arrives. The planner questioned the size of Baguio. No one of these areas would be enough for a large city. Buildings would be constructed in each area, and each would have to be made accessible to the other. For a smaller city, the site were too far, part of for businesses. Um, so Daniel Burnham assumed that the town would obtain and not exceeds a population of 25,000. He also suggested a concentrations of businesses and the necessary public activities in a single compact group for the size for this size of a city. Considering the three horizontal grounds areas for the grouping, the owner noted that the Pakdal strips and the military sides have the advantage of a more commanding outlook. But the Baguio Meadow has the largest available areas of level land and was the most practical locations. They noted that the outlying district of Bacdal and some slopes towards Trinidad and the sea could be a good area for pabahay or detached institutions of public and semi-public nature. Baguio Meadows can be described as one half mile wide by three-fourths of a mile long, a roughly elliptical shapes, an enclosed hollow dominated by low hill and connecting ridge. And at 2 points of the north and south, this hill sinks to the level of the central plain. On the south side, the Benguet Road enters the meadow, and on the north side, a small stream exists. So, ano yung plano ng designer para sa Baguio Meadow? Um, meron, I think, merong apat no, na plans for the Baguio Meadow. One is to place all the businesses no, doon sa level floor or doon sa medyo hindi namang katarikat na mga slopes. For one is that parang madali yung yung transactions of businesses at madaling mapunta ng tao. Number two is yung mga municipal buildings. Yung mga municipal buildings dapat malapit din sa mga business quarters. And number three, kailangan yung mga national buildings ay ilagay sa pinakatuktok should be placed on the Governor's Mountain. It is the southeast of the valley, which forms a high plateau. Ang pinaka main concept nila is that the national building will be um, tagged as the head of the whole compositions. And the number four is that the municipal and the national buildings um, face each other. Ibig sabihin magkakaharap, no? From the opposite ends of the valley. And then open esplanades with a central tapiz should be drawn between them to dissect the valley and forms the natural main axis of the town. There are three fundamental elements of the plan. We have the street system, the placement of important institutions, and the recreational area. For the street system, it has been said na kailangan daw mag-mimic sa contour ng valley. While the closely built sections of the city should have a regular geometric street system, the rest should have a ungeometrical streets that mimic the country of the valley, or the contours of the valley. It also hopes to carry through the lines of the streets the commanding posts on the hillside and thus permit the locations of the central building where they command a view down the neighboring streets. For the placement of important institutions, yung schools, churches, and hospitals ay perfect daw sa hills surrounding the Baguio, no? Yung hills na yun. And the Governor General of the island and the Major General commanding the department. These two residents or official residents ay kailangan daw nakalagay on the opposite sides of the government center. And the Pakdal site should be a fashionable quarters for residents of a more wealthy people. Then finally, under the placement of important institutions, the railroad terminal could be located in the hollow where Benguet Road bends northward to enter the valley, where there would act as a formal gateway to the city. In regards to the recreation fields would be located on the west sides of the town, where enclosing hills from a natural hollow. Hilltops should be given to the public as park areas so that their green space may be preserved. They also indicated many locations where water could make a strong aesthetic contributions, but they acknowledged that water supply was not abundant in this plan and could not be immediately realized. Yun yung problema, no, dun sa Baguio rin, on how to have a good supply for water. Okay, so this closes the lecture for the plan of Burnham sa Manila and Baguio. Maraming salamat.